Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart Life as a Dad and a 35-year cancer survivor, available on Amazon. Clearly, I have a lot of videos on my page that deal with some tough stuff cancer, as well as issues with cancer survivorship. But I want to take this moment right now to talk about some of the good things that happen in spite of me having that history with cancer. There is life after cancer. And as my book is titled, I've had more than 35 years of experiences after that. In fact, I'm going to be approaching my 36th year in remission in just a few days. One common thing that is said among cancer survivors is that their lives change. Their lives are nothing like they were before, nothing like they ever imagined. And I can tell you, I remember my life up to my age of 22 when I got diagnosed. I don't know what path I was on. I know what I was doing. My life is definitely nothing like that. In fact, early on, after my cancer experience finished, my life had already changed. My outlooks were different. My attitude was different. What mattered was different. And really, it became a matter of making the most of my life and not letting the little things bother me anymore. Focusing on what I needed to do to get to wherever I wanted and to get whatever I wanted. And I would experience a lot of things that I never thought I would have. I ended up with a great job of all places in medical research. I'm not a science guy, but somehow I ended up there. In fact, actually, the ironic thing was I ended up handling one of the chemotherapy drugs that I was given. Um, Things that I did accomplish, I got the dog I always wanted. He was a golden retriever named Polo, Pollo, like the Spanish chicken. Um, Dynamite Dog was a major part of my early years of survivorship. Um, I got to travel a lot. Uh, Ben and Jerry's factory up in New England, that was awesome. Got to Seattle twice. Got to see my first pro football game there. That was an experience. I've been to both Disney's. I've taken several cruises in my life. Um, and then I've gotten to meet a ton of people, people that I never would have crossed paths with, not just in the world of cancer with other survivors, but it was my one unfortunate side effect that I have from my cancer experience was that I was not able to have biological children, which, long story short, would eventually lead me down the path to adoption. And there I would end up meeting lots more people in my life that I never would have come across. I would also end up traveling to China to proceed with those adoptions. So, yeah, I'm sitting in, social studies class in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, hearing all the things about China from my teacher, never once thinking I'd ever go there. But yet there I was, and it was an awesome experience. But, as my survivorship years went on, it became more than obvious what was really important to me and what really drives my survivorship at this point, and that's my daughters. Um, like I often say, my daughters weren't around when I was diagnosed with my cancer, but from the first sign of one of my late side effects that I deal with pertaining to my heart, they've been with me every step of the way. And that's almost 18 years now that they've had to deal with that. One health emergency after another. All they know is that I keep getting through it. My youngest daughter describes me as one of the toughest people she'll ever know. And it's not that I'm tough. It's just I don't have a choice. I have to get through what I do. Um, I know my luck will run out eventually someday. The body can only take so much. But every day that I want, and I emphasize every day that I want, it's a conscious effort. I am driven by my daughters. I have gotten to experience so much as their dad, um, from school graduations in kindergarten to high school. Um, Both are now on the door of graduating from college. One will do so in 2 months, and my other daughter will graduate next year. These are moments that I never thought I'd see. And, I still feel I've got a lot more time left in me. And so that means that I'm hopefully going to get to experience more of my daughter's experiences. And those are the things that are driving me. So, yeah, I write a lot about cancer and survivorship and talk about it a lot. But I also have other things that I focus on. And they don't necessarily involve cancer because there is so much more to life. You got to take care of yourself, that's for sure. But finding that balance is important. Until next time, this is Paul's Heart.